Welcome to MicroStation, licensing from home, working in a disconnected mode. My name's Sean McGaffick. With recent events in our ever-changing world, our working landscape has also changed very dramatically. Many of us find ourselves working from home, adjusting to a home-based or virtually connected workplace. In some cases, equipment, multiple monitors, an office location in your home, even a desk to work on, a chair to sit in, or just a bit of peace and quiet, free from distractions to get work done, can be difficult to overcome. Overcoming these obstacles is never guaranteed. After all, it is our home. It may not necessarily be a perfect work location that you share with perfect workmates, and it certainly didn't start out that way. But that separation between home and office has changed. While many have high-speed internet connections at home, others do not. This video will discuss the numerous ways to work in a connected or disconnected environment for an extended period of time. I'll focus on licensing Bentley products specifically. Now, connection speeds vary greatly depending on service providers and the location or the package chosen with your provider. Outages happen more often than not in some locations. The average internet broadband speed varies around the world. There's no guarantee of the perfect connection or conditions. It's an issue that we all share. If you're like most folks, while working in your organization's office, licensing rarely became an issue, an afterthought really. In fact, you may not even be 100% sure of how it all worked. However, working from home is a different situation altogether, one that we find ourselves in for the foreseeable future. Maybe your home internet connection is just slow, it's spotty, maybe it's non-existent, or you work remotely off of a laptop or desktop. But if you're like me, what you really want to have happen is that your Bentley products just work for an extended period of time without the need to be constantly connected to the internet. If the internet is there all the time, great. But if not, let's just keep those products working. Does that sound familiar? A common misconception that I'd like to address now is that MicroStation requires a constant internet connection. Nothing could be further from the truth. There are a variety of options, some set up by your administrators. MicroStation, and typically all Connect-based Bentley products, can work and obtain licenses with or without an internet connection for a short or extended period of time. There are a myriad of options. In this video, I'd like to address the following: Bentley downloads and rolls, Bentley subscription entitlement service, deployment images, locating your administrator, running Bentley applications for less than 7 days with and without an internet connection, running Bentley applications more than 7 days with and without internet connection, Bentley licensing tools and entitlements, the entitlement management services, and that is the license check-in and check-out, as well as the Bentley licensing tools, the check-in and check-out. Bentley downloads and rolls. First, let's assume that you need to start by loading MicroStation and the connection client onto the laptop or desktop that you'll use at home. We'll also assume that you have internet connection. One way you can begin is to access softwaredownloads.bentley.com. It'll require you to be a connected user and signed into the connection client. Software can be downloaded directly from the software download site. To do this, you may need the software download role added to your connected profile. Your administrator can help you with that. Your organization will have people assigned as administrators and co-administrators who can modify your role. Keep in mind, Bentley support does not modify these roles. It must be done by your administrator. As mentioned, you'll initially be required to log into the connection client to download, but keep in mind, the connection client provides the same license entitlements regardless of location. Remember, the connection client does provide the same license entitlements regardless of the location of connection for the connection client. This is due to Bentley's Subscription Entitlement Service, also known as SES. This is Bentley's improved licensing model, providing enhanced security and optimized value for your Bentley subscriptions. It will not only give organizations more options to monitor and manage their usage, but also provide new advanced licensing features that enhances digital workflows. Subscription Entitlement Service integrates the new licensing system with Bentley's Identity Management System, IMS, and the Bentley Connect technology platform to allow near real-time reporting of usage, improve notification and messaging to the user, and increased administrative capabilities for organization administrators. If you're an administrator, check out the administrator guide for the subscription entitlement services in the description of this video. There's a link there for you. Or check out Bentley product communities on licensing and activation, our licensing and activation wiki on subscription entitlement services. Let's talk for a moment about deployment images. So let's say that you don't have internet access at your location. Remember that you can still load Bentley products and the connection client. However, you will need a portable deployment image. We've always recommended that administrators create deployment images to use as a source for multiple installations under normal circumstances. For information for an administrator on how to create a deployment image for the MicroStation Connect Edition, take a look at one of the links to the Creating a Deployment Image video in the description for this particular video. With all of us working from home, having an available deployment image for a variety of Bentley products takes on new meaning. An existing or new deployment image can be copied to removable media and taken or copied to home to use as the installation source where internet availability or speed is limited. Notice I said limited, as it's required just for a minute to sign into the connection client with a valid IMS ID associated with your organization. If you're not aware, by signing into the connection client, you can also find your organization's projects, receive relevant notifications, enter and review service requests, download software updates, and much, much more. What if the question becomes, how do I find who in my company is my Bentley site administrator? Your site can have several administrators and co-administrators, and they can certainly help you with licensing, but also if you're trying to locate, then install MicroStation or any Bentley product with a deployment image. You can review a list of your administrators in several locations. First, you'll need internet connection to check this, and you'll be asked to sign into the connection client. Once in the connection client, pick Connect Center, and a list of administrators can be reviewed by clicking How Are You Connected? Here it lists the projects that you're involved with, and in the Administrators tab, you'll find a list of your site administrators' names and email addresses. If for some reason you don't have internet connection, please contact Bentley directly at 1-800-BENTLEY in the U.S. or 610-458-5000 outside the United States. Here are a few other local offices. So now you might have MicroStation or other Bentley products installed along with Connection Client. They're all installed locally, downloaded from either software downloads or installed via deployment image. Your Bentley products are installed, but what about running those Bentley products for less than 7 days with a constant internet connection? Well, that's the easiest setup of them all. If your internet connection is steady and you're signed into the connection client, nothing further is required from you. As mentioned, Connection Client provides the same licensing entitlements regardless of connection location. This is due to Bentley's subscription entitlement service. You'll continue to receive the benefits of pooled licensing to allow you to work as needed, whether on your usual machine or in a remote environment. Connection Client, running a subscription entitlement service-based application, does not require a constant internet connection, but it does require you to sign in every 7 days for security. Once you've already signed into a machine, your specific entitlements are loaded into Connection Client and the Bentley licensing tool. But that's the easiest scenario, right? So what about running your applications for less than 7 days without constant internet connection? Well, that decision to work offline or simply requiring you to sign into Connection Client during that time is up to your site administrator. Your site administrator will need to sign in, go to the Connect Center, to the Subscription Services, Entitlement Management, then select Apps and Services, followed by the particular product. MicroStation in this example. Note the license alerting options, and of course, the ability to change the option for offline usage. If your administrator has not disabled offline usage by requiring a sign-in, your application will revert to offline status. You then will have a 7-day grace period before you have to sign back in to Connection Client, or your application will become disabled. So how do you know what you're entitled to run, or even what is licensed for your particular Connection Client sign-in? To determine what product licensing entitlements are, start MicroStation. Don't sign into the Connection Client. You'll then be prompted to either sign into the Connection Client or to continue. If you select Continue, if MicroStation starts, then offline mode is enabled. To check your particular entitlements while offline from Connection Client, from inside MicroStation, search for License Management. Or from the backstage, pick Tools, License Management. As you just saw, This dialog will tell you what products you're entitled to run, as well as if offline use is allowed and at what date you will need to sign into the connection client prior to guarantee your uninterrupted use of Bentley products. Keep in mind that this is always set in the case of MicroStation to a maximum of 7 days. Each time you sign in, the clock resets, and the time is extended 7 more days from the date of sign-in. The exception being when you work with a checked-out license. Then, the expiration date of the checkout is set by the user and the administrator. Keep in mind, if MicroStation or your Bentley product does not start, please contact your administrator as mentioned earlier. It could simply be that offline use happens to be disabled. And for the administrators, they can refer to a link in the video description on how to configure the entitlement management configuration. Here, the administrator will access the entitlement management service, set users and groups, add group entitlements, and most importantly for this conversation, license alerting as defined by each product. This is what will allow for offline usage. If set to on, the user must be online and signed in to the application in order to be able to use it. If this is set to off, users will be able to continue the use of the product in the event that they have no network connection when they start the application or if it occurs during their session of application usage. So what happens if you're unable to contact the licensing servers after 7 days? Well, then the product will go into a disabled mode. Disabled mode is different for different Bentley products, but most of our products implement a 15-minute mode, so you could still access it just to get into a file to print or make a quick minor change, but you need to contact your administrator at that point, and they can help you renew that license. What about the scenario where you know there will be no internet, or even the possibility that there may be many outages, some extending for more than the 7-day grace period that we already learned about? So I guess you're out of luck just running a Bentley product for more than 7 days. Absolutely not. The subscription entitlement service allows for extended offline scenarios just beyond or far beyond the offline period of the product. For MicroStation, that's a 7-day grace period. The subscription entitlement service provides the capability to reserve or check out licenses. Now keep in mind, there's 2 paths that you can go. One requires internet access. It also requires you, the user, to discuss the license checkout with your administrator. And then you can check out the license within the Bentley product yourself. And the other without any internet access at all, but 100% involves your administrator. In fact, the administrator would check the license out for you. The administrator can even bulk check out licenses to multiple users. So let's see how this is done. A license checkout using the Bentley license tool. For the first scenario, you'll need internet access so that you can check out a license using the Bentley licensing tool. From within MicroStation or your Bentley product, either search for license management or from the backstage, pick Tools, License Management. Selecting the Checkout License tab, then in the top part of the dialog, filter or scroll to locate the correct product. In my case, I've used Open Roads Designer. I'll set the checkout expiration to the desired length of time. While we do allow checkout for up to 1 year, please do your CAD administrator a favor. Check with them on the length of the term of the license. Here, I'll set mine to 90 days. I know that sometime, just for a moment, I will have internet access again to check in and renew my standard 7-day grace period. I'll now select the product that's required. Again, in my case, ORD, Open Roads Designer, and I'll pick the checkout option. You'll note that I now have an ORD, Open Roads Designer license checked out until the date shown. Again, I can't emphasize enough about discussing the term of the license for this checked out license with your CAD or BIM administrator. They can and will guide you as to the details of the term needed. Now, ORD, Open Roads Designer, will function regardless of signed in to Connection Client or not, with or without an internet connection. When my time to use that license is up, or I'm done using it, I can check that license in. I'll sign into the Connection Client, start my particular application. Again, I'll start License Management, and I'll pick the Checkout License tab. Select the license in question, here again, Open Roads, and pick Check-in. Keep in mind that the Bentley licensing tool can also be run outside of your Bentley application. You can access it via Windows Explorer. I'll navigate to C, Program Files, Common Files, Bentley Shared, Connection Client, License Service, and I'll select the executable bentley.licensing.license-tool.exe. For companies without internet access, license files can be generated from the Entitlement Management website by an administrator from an internet-connected computer. From Connect Center, the administrator will locate Entitlement Management. Then pick License Checkout. They'll select New Checkout. Now, of course, they'll need the name and email of the Bentley sign-in that is associated to your organization. They'll also need to provide the machine ID, the computer name. To provide this information to your administrator, provide your name, the email associated to your organization, and from the desktop of your local machine, go to Settings, System, and About. It'll list the device name. That's the machine ID that we're after. The administrator will then set the product that's needed, as well as the version that's loaded onto the local machine. Please also provide your system administrator with the exact version of software that's required. If there's another machine running the same exact version of software, you can go to the Backstage under Help, About, in this case, MicroStation. The administrator will then provide the expiration date of the license and check out the license. The license file will be called license.belic. It should then be transferred to your computer, and you'll need to import that license into your Bentley product via the licensing tool. Keep in mind, the administrator can create bulk license checkouts for multiple licenses or multiple users. The difference being the delivered file is a zip file versus a single BELIC file. The Bentley licensing tool allows you to import a license one of two ways: by file or by folder. Here we would select Import Policy File. From the File menu, and select either a BELIC file or a zipped archive containing individual BELIC files that are generated from a bulk checkout. A dialog will confirm whether the license file was imported successfully or not. After import, on the Bentley licensing tool, select the Sync button on the Entitlements tab to refresh the list. Licenses will automatically check in once they reach their expiration date, but administrators can check in a license early if needed. Well, I hope that from this video you get a chance to see the various ways we can obtain a license using Bentley products while working at home in a disconnected mode. If you have questions that arise as a result of this video, feel free to contact me, sean.mcgaffick@bentley.com. However, if you're having specific licensing issues, please contact Bentley by opening up a new service request via the Connect Center or by calling 1-800-BENTLEY. Thanks for watching MicroStation, licensing from home, working in a disconnected mode.